Roy.
22nd of September, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, we are back. Oh, and I have a note written here that we read. The Lou read the Rashi, Divra Maskil Amar Lacha, Shmuel. But we have to go back over it and explain it. Okay, so let's do that.
Amen.
Okay, good. Okay, so as far as this Rashi goes, so should we go back over this Rashi, Omar Lach Shmuel?
Yeah.
Okay, so
would you like me to try it now that I'm back at a normal Zoom and it works? That we're back to the old number.
Okay, sure. Welcome, Phil.
Okay, and if you hear any noise in the background, let me know because I think it's okay in here. Amalach Shmuel say Ha Masnisen, or Mishnah, the Mashma that teaches the E. The last wide line on the top. Four lines down from the top, near the end of the line, before the lines get wide.
I see Nazca. Am I on the wrong page? 96B?
We're at 99A.
99A.
Oh,
We're at 99A1.
I'm on the wrong place. Okay, let's see. 99A, fourth line. Amar Lach.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, that's where I believe we're up to, right?
Yes.
That's what Shmuel would say. Okay, Amalach. Ha Masnisen, this, that the Mishnah, the Mashma, that has the meaning, the E, the Diach, La'acha Nefila, if he would be burning it after it fell, into the vat, you have to pay him. Nami also, the May Shevcha, you also have to pay him the value of the improvement. Going, for example, Shed Semer the Samanim, the Baal Abayit, which means you have to pay for the wool and the dye of the Baal Abayit. That this is not to say Oman Kone B'Shevach Kli, that the Oman acquires the improvement of the Kli, this Samaninhu, with the dye.
Wait, I'm confused. It says that you have to pay for the improvement.
No, you don't have to pay for the improvement. It says you don't say. That's a Leko amendment. Don't say.
Well, wait a second now. Where's I see Yahiv Le Nami Demei Shvacha.
Yeah, that say
Pay the value.
You have to pay. Right, because there's a difference there of when the burning took place, when it got ruined. Did it get ruined after it was completed, or did it get ruined before it was completed?
I understand, but what I'm questioning is, it says you have to pay the value of the improvement, and then it says, for example,
you don't pay
for the wool and the dye.
Right, but that's so the the question, I'm not sure if he has to pay for a complete product, but the wool and the dye, he's paying for the dye, remember now also. Let's finish and see if it makes any sense out of it, because I understand. Don't say that he, don't, no, but he don't say that he acquires the Sheva Zechli with the dye. It does say Leikalim. This doesn't say that he acquires it with the Sheva. The Kli, it's not his anymore. There's somebody in who, because the dye is his. So he contributed the Uman, it's the Uman's dye into this. It's the Balabayit's wool. So money is invested of his. Yeah, but then he says you have to give it to the Balabayit, you have to give. I want to see where it said some meaning of the Balabayit. Okay, so there's a difference okay, here's the difference. The difference is, who does the dye belong to? If, at least my understanding so far, may change more. If it's the Balabayit's wool and dye, then it's not that he's not, in a sense, he has to pay for the Balabayit, the wool and the dye, and not any work done by the human, so to speak. But now, if the Uman is only the wool came from the Balabayit, but the Simonim are from who? From the Uman. It's the Uman's dye that he's now added to the wool. Now, since the Uman has added his dye to it, now the Uman should be Koneh the Sheva. He gets the improvement. He added his dye to the thing.
Frozen.
Who's frozen?
I was frozen.
Okay. I don't know if you heard me then or not. Did you hear me on this before I said?
No.
Okay. I was saying, I'm trying to think about there being two cases here. One is whether who is the dye belong to. The first case, it says the Mishnah, it says in the Mishnah, it's talking about when the wool and the dye belong to the Balabayit. In that case, it would say the Ha Leikim Uman Koneh, the Shevach. He doesn't get the Shevach of the claim. But the question is,
Right.
the Shevach of the claim is the summoning who the Mab Sheikhle. So there's a question of whether the dye belongs to the Uman or the dye belongs to the Balabayit. Belonging to the Balabayit, it doesn't sound like he's getting Shevach on it because he it's his stuff originally. But if he added the dye, the Uman, the guy just gave him the wool and he added the dye, now he should get the Shevach on that because he's added it's his. It's his dye that made the Shevach.
Right.
And the Seva, the next line in the Rashi, but Seva, Sechia Ba'alma, and the dyer gets his wages. Who? Vadai Uman Shehamasim. And it's surely the case if the dyes are his. Koneh v'shevach, he required a shevach. Ein mishalim ela demei tzimero. He shouldn't have to pay only the value of the wool.
Right.
So the question is, what are the cases we dealing with? Right. That's what the Gemora said.
Yeah.
School's answer is it's only the case we're talking about is if the wool and the dye belong to the Balabayit. In that case, he only gets the schar. And Rashi's trying to explain why he only gets the schar.
Okay. So I think it would be useful in order to understand Rashi that we got to get the picture of the cheshbon of the Gemora straight. and then our understanding of Rashi will be much clearer. Now, the cheshbon of the Gemora goes like this. There's a few steps over here that the Gemora has gone through, and the last of them is what Rashi's talking about over here. Amar lak Shmuel. Shmuel would tell you. Now, right? It's good to go over to the cheshbon. You can go over the cheshbon when you're waiting in the bank, when you're doing whatever you're doing. It's always good to go over the cheshbon of the Gemara. So the cheshbon of the Gemara is like this. The subject of the Gemara, step 1 is that Rav Asi said, Umen kona b'shebach kli. That's the whole subject of our Gemara over here. We're judging whether we got a proof from the Mishnah to the principle of Rav Asi, that Rav Asi says that a uman who is given raw material and he makes it into a kli, and then he breaks the kli, according to Rav Asi, he's kona the kli. He's kona the kli. So therefore he won't pay for the added value that he put into the kli. Okay. So now the Gemara, that's step 1. Step 2 is that the Gemara brought Shmuel, who originally that Shmuel himself said, that the Mishnah is talking about a case where the uman burnt and ruined the wool at the time of the nefila. Now the nefila, like Phil said, means falling. What it means over here is that the dye has been absorbed into the wool, and now it is, and that's the shevach of the wool, that it's now dyed wool as opposed to undyed wool. It's more valuable being dyed. So,
Rabbi, I'm looking on on the top of 99A.
Yeah.
Mar Shmuel, it says Deleka Shivcha. I'm understanding that to mean that the dye was taking hold but had not taken hold yet. Therefore, there was no improvement, and that's why he doesn't have to pay, according to Shmuel.
well, the Gemara said originally that the case was talking la'achar nefila.
Right.
That's what the Gemara wanted to suggest, which meant that we're talking about the wool being burnt and ruined after it already had attained its improved value, that the dye was absorbed. So fine. So Shmuel is saying no. The Mishnah is not talking about that case. It's talking about a case where the wool got burnt and ruined b'shas nefila, and the significance of that is like you say. The Gemara says leka shivcha. It was not yet in an improved state at the time that it was ruined.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what Shmuel himself said. Now the Gemara, now there's 2 more steps over here in the that we got to go through. The Gemara said on that, what Shmuel said, that it seems to us, Lema Shmuel leislei the Rav Asi. Let's say that based upon what Shmuel said about what the case was talking about, that he does not agree with Rav Asi. He doesn't agree to Rav Asi. He means to say he holds that a uman is not kona b'shevach kli. That's what the Gemorahs wanted to suggest. On that, the Gemora is because why? Because Rashi explained. Because why did Shmuel have to go and say that we're talking dafka about a case where there wasn't any improvement in the wool before it was burnt and ruined? What do you have to say that for? The Gemora thought that he was saying that because he holds that because the Gemora says that he's pater on the shevach. The Gemora was medayik that he's pater on the shevach. The only thing he has to pay for is the wool itself, the value of the wool itself, but not the improved value of the wool. So Shmuel says, oh, you know why he doesn't have to pay for the improved value of the wool? Because there was no improved value of the wool. If it would have been improved value of the wool, then he would have to pay for it. That's the implication of Shmuel, and that's why the Gemara says, let's say that Shmuel disagrees with Rav Asi. On that, now the Gemara says that the next step, the fourth step, which is Omer Lach Shmuel. Gemara says, Shmuel would say to you that what we're talking about over here is a case where both the wool, not only the wool, but also the dye that is going to be the improved value of the wool belonged to the balabayas. It did not belong to the uman. The uman was simply a hired worker. Shmuel would say to you the following thing, which means that the Gemara is saying that you don't have a raya that Shmuel disagrees with Rav Asi, because the way that Shmuel is understanding the case, there's no issue of the shevach of the kli, because it belongs to the source of the shevach, which is the dyeing material, the samamanim. That's the dyeing material. It belongs to the balabayas. So certainly, and that's why it seems that Shmuel is saying. That's why Shmuel is saying that if the wool would have been improved before it got burnt, he would have had to pay for it. The uman would have to pay not only for the value of the wool, but also for the improved value that the dye was absorbed into it. Okay, so now
I'm confused about this last point. What do I care whether the dye is owned by who owns the dye? We're talking about the improvement.
Okay, so you want to know why it is that it makes a difference?
Yeah.
Who owns the dye?
Yes.
So that's what Rashi is going to explain us also. Rashi is going to explain us also.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go over the Rashi again. Amar Lach, Shmuel's going to say to you like this: Hamas nisan demashma de ihekdiach leacher nefila yohiv le demei shivcha nami demei shivcha. This that Shmuel said that the Mishnah is mashma, that the Mishnah. It's implied in the Mishnah that we're talking about a case that it's implied from the Mishnah because according to Shmuel, this was not the case that the Mishnah is talking about, right? Remember, that Shmuel said himself that the Mishnah is talking about a case where the dye, where the wool was ruined before it got the improved value absorbed into it. So Rashi is saying that Shmuel will tell you that the Mishnah is and therefore that the Mishnah is mashma. Mashma means we can infer from what the Mishnah does say. We can infer the case of where the Mishnah doesn't say what the Mishnah would say about that case. And that case is that if he burned it la'achar nefila, after it had already absorbed the improved the samamanim, the dye, and now it's improved and worth more. In that case, it's mashma that the Mishnah would say Yahiv leid nami demei shivche, that he, the uman, would have to also pay for not only the wool but also for the improved value shevach of the wool now. Okay.
Yes.
Says Rashi, explaining the Gemora, Kigon shetzemer v'samanim de balabayis. That's what the Gemora is saying when it says Amar lach Shmuel. Hakum v'mayaskinen kigon de tzemer v'samanim de balabayis. Both the tzemer and the dyeing material that's improving the wool belong to the balabayis. Now,
so the kagon is not for example.
Yeah, for example,
it's not an example of what he pays. It's not saying he pays for the dye and the wool, right? That he owns the dye and the wool.
No, it's talking about that's the case that when the Gemara money, that's the case that the Mishnah is talking about.
Sorry, you were completely off for a little while.
So the case that the Mishnah is talking about here is that the wool and the dye are owned by the owner of the wool.
Yeah,
not by the uman.
Right.
And therefore he has to pay for the improvement.
Right. That's the reason why he has to pay for the improvement. Because in that case, Rashi explains because look, if you think about it, in that case, it's not logical to say uman kona b'shavach kli. It's not logical to say in that case that the uman is going to be kona with the improvements that he made, that his actions caused in the wool. Why? The samamanim hu de meshabche lay, because it was the dye material that belonged to the balabayas that caused the increased value of the wool. It's true, the uman put it into the vat and supervised the dyeing process, but what was responsible for causing the improved value was the dyeing material, which was owned by the owner of the wool. And therefore, concludes Rashi, but Saba, this dyer over here, Sechir ba'almahu, he is a hired worker. He's a hired worker who's being paid for his time in the project. So therefore, according to Rashi, it's not conceivable that he would be able to acquire the wool just because he put the wool into the vat and he's supervising the dyeing of the vat. That the balabayas is paying him for that work that he's doing. but the wool as well as the dye belong to the balabayas. So according to Rashi, it's inconceivable that in such a scenario, the hired worker is going to acquire the improved value of the wool. That's not his. That's not his. That's not his. That's not his
Okay.
wool over there that he improved. It's not his dye over there that he used to improve the wool. So what basis is there to say that he acquires with the improved value that he made in the wool? The wool doesn't belong to him. The dye doesn't belong to him. He's a hired worker. He's being paid for his time. He's paid for his work. He's got paid. That's it.
So if the dyer owned the dye, then we would say that he acquires the improvement. But if he doesn't own the dye, then we would say he doesn't acquire the improvement, even though in both cases he did the exact same thing.
Yeah. I think that's what Rashi's going to say now in the end of the Rashi.
Okay.
Yeah, let's continue with the Rashi. Uvadai, and certainly, says Rashi, there's no question about it. Umen she'asamanim shalo, the umen Kona b'shebach kli. In that case,
you froze. I missed the meaning of the word sheha simanim.
okay.
Die.
She'asamanim is the dyeing material. Shalo belongs to the uman. In that case, kon shebach kli. Then the uman will acquire he will acquire that improved value of the kli, so that when he ruins the wool and he burns the wool afterwards, he won't have to pay for that improved value. He'll just have to pay for the actual value of the undyed wool that was given to him by the balabais, because that belongs to the balabais. The balabais gave him that. Now he ruined it. So the balabais doesn't care that he improved the value of his wool. Now he totally ruined it. It's totally worthless. So he's got to pay for the wool. That's self-understood. But he does not have to pay for the fact that he ruined improved wool that is now worth much more, because that sum of money was that improved value. How did it get there? It got there with his work as well as with the sum of money that belonged to him.
So in both cases, the dyer does the same exact thing. In one case, he does not own the dye, in which case he only pays for the raw material of the wool. And in the second case, he does own the dye, in which case he pays for the raw material of the wool, the raw material of the dye, and the improvement. Correct?
I don't know if I understood you correctly. What in the first part of the Rashi said that the case that we're talking about is where the uman. I'm sorry. The case that we're talking about is where the balabayas, he gave the wool to the uman, and he also owns the dye.
Right.
In that case, Rashi says that if the uman, even if the uman will, even if the burning the wool and the ruining of the wool occurred after the uman already improved the value of the kli of the wool, and it was an improved wool, a dyed wool that he ruined, in that case, he will also pay not only for the wool that he ruined, but he'll also pay for the improved value of the wool that he ruined.
What about the dye? Who pays for the dye?
Well, the improved value of the wool is probably worth more than the actual value of the dye. That's what the uman is. That's what the balabais is in business for, right?
Yeah. So you're saying we just ignore the dye?
The uman has to pay him for the wool, what the wool was worth, and also for what the improved value that the wool is now worth because it has the dye on it, which I'm saying is certainly more than the price of the wool undyed and the price of the samamanim, which is not on the wool. It's the uman's work that works with the wool to dye it that makes the wool, which is dyed, worth more than the value of the wool and the value of the samamanim, right?
Well, how do we, I mean, is the value of the samamanim included as part of the value of the improvement?
Rashi says demei shivche. He's also going to pay how much did the samamanim cost that he put into the dye, that he put into the wool? Let's say it costs 5.
Right. Let's say the wool costs 5 and the dye costs 5 and the improvement is worth 5.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty low profit margin for the balabais because you got to pay the okay, whatever they charge. We're not saying how much he's going to charge for in the store, but right. But my only point is that the shevach of the improved value of the wool is going to be more than the actual value of the dye that was put into the wool.
Okay, so let's say the improvement is worth 10. The wool is worth 5, the dye is worth 5, the improvement is worth 10. So we got a total of 20.
Okay.
So Rashi says that in the first case, he pays for the wool and for the dye. So he pays 10. He pays the balabais.
Not for the dye. He's not just paying for the dye. He's paying for the improved value, the shevach of the wool, the improved value of the wool.
Well, it says kagon shetzemer u samanin the balabais.
That's talking about the case that we're talking about. We're talking about a case.
Oh.
Where is it that the uman pays for the shevach? He pays for the shevach in the case where the balabais is the one that owns the wool and the dye.
I see.
Because in that case, Rashi says that's the case where the uman will not acquire he won't acquire based upon the shevach that he put into the kli. In order for the uman to acquire, he needs not only his labor in improving the wool, but also that the dye that he's using to improve the wool belongs to him, uman. In that case, Rashi's explaining that the uman will be kona b'sheva kli, according to Shmuel. So now, what the Gemora has accomplished over here, if we can go to the next step, what the Gemora has accomplished over here is it has accomplished rejecting the Gemora's suggestion that Shmuel argues with Rav Asi. That's why the Gemora is saying this over here, Omar Lach Shmuel. To say that
says that the Uman acquires the improvement,
right.
and therefore he doesn't have to pay for it if he ruins it because it's his. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we said that Shmuel disagreed with that, and now we're saying no, he doesn't.
Right.
Okay, I'm with you.
Right. Now the reason is because the Gemara is saying that Shmuel is interpreting the case of the Mishnah, is talking about a different case than Rav Asi is talking about. Rav Asi is talking about a case where the Uman owns the dye, and Shmuel says the Mishnah is talking about a case where the Balabais owns the dye, and that's why.
Rabbi, you really have to do something about the freezing. It's complicated and difficult enough when you don't freeze.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we have to. Yeah, yeah, my wife already spent an hour and a half on the phone with the internet provider to no avail.
She's got to call Bezek.
And yeah, well, so that's another investment of
An hour and a half.
between an hour and 2 hours. So I hope to and before Yontif is we'll see what we can do.
I can give you the name of my ISP.
Yeah.
It's called Anatel, Annatel. If you want, I can send you a link. I'll send you a link, Emir Hashem. Your wife can look at it and see if maybe you want to switch.
Okay. Okay, thanks for the tip. In other words, instead of my internet provider now, it'll be okay. I guess I don't understand these things, you know. So
well, you don't have to. If you call them and you tell them you're not satisfied with your current provider and you want to switch, they'll take care of all the details.
oh, you mean they would replace Bezic?
Yeah, exactly.
Most people don't have problems with Bezic. It could be something with his router and system. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my feeling on the matter.
Well, there's two parts to an ISP. There's the physical wire that comes to your house, and then there's the company that directs the signal across that wire. And Bezic can be both, or it can be only the wire. So you may have another company involved. I don't know. But Anatel doesn't use Bezic. It uses Hot. Hot is a competitor to Bezic. So you would be changing that also if you went to Anatel, which might help. I don't know. I've heard bad things about Bezic, so I'm not sure I agree with Phil.
It also depends upon what your system is, how many gig you get, and whether you have fiber or not, and all kinds of things like that. That's going to affect everything.
That's right. That's right. So when I had a problem with my internet with Anatel, I called them, and it didn't take an hour and a half. It took about 20 minutes to have a conversation, and they discussed the different options, and I made a change to a higher bandwidth, and it fixed the problem.
Okay.
All right, see you all tomorrow morning, Mentorship.
Okay, now Shabbat Shalom, and actually it's Shana Tova, because we're not going to be here Sunday. We have to get ready for Yom Tov.
Yes.
Actually,
So
we are going to be here Sunday, but not for Gemora.
Right. And the Gemara, you continue on some Gedaliah?
Yes, we said that
Okay.
on the 28th of September, we would have a normal
Right.
schedule.
Okay, that's some Gedaliah. Okay,
Yeah, 28th and 29th will be normal schedule.
right. Okay.
Okay, Shana Tova, Phil.
So,
Shana Tova to you, Phil, and be well.
Manitoba.
Happy New Year.
Okay, we'll see you all later.
Fenced your.
okay, good year.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you later.
Okay, I'll see you at
Okay.
4, Alan.
Right. Okay. Signing